Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Grayson the Dean 221 Nichols, and today we are going to be going over episode 1 of the Fantastic Five, which is what they're calling the new series of Poker After Dark. And so what we got right now is a 5100 cash game, and they're playing five-handed, hence the name. And in this hand, we got 4 of them in play right now, and we have Sam Soverel, one of the best tournament players in the world, Lin Ji, a young newcomer to the high stakes games who if you checked out some of our old videos, she's actually quite the bluffer, fires a lot, got into a lot of interesting pots on high stakes poker. One of them I did a video on, so go check that out on our YouTube channel. And we also got Matt Berkey, really well known, really tough pro, and Jake Daniels, who I'm unfamiliar with, but I believe they said he played on the PGA Tour at some point, or might be like a tour pro, not sure. So that's the lineup right now. So let's check out this hand. I was watching the episode earlier, and this hand just really stood out to me as quite fascinating. So I wanted to just pop on here and, just kind of discuss it with you guys. So Matt opens the action to 250 with ace queen, and Jake goes ahead and 3-bets him on the button to 700 with sevens. I am not an authority on cash games by any means, but I'm typically used to flatting in these spots as sevens. So I was a little surprised to see Jake 3-bet, but from the button being deep stacked, it's not completely unreasonable at all to 3-bet this spot. And in fact, it makes some amount of sense, right? So I don't mind the unusual 3-bet there. And Sam and Lynn both fold, and Matt calls, of course, with his ace queen. I don't think there's really any other play there. His hand's not good enough to 4-bet for value, nor would it make sense to 4-bet bluff. Also, if Jake has, we assume he has a fair amount of 3-bet bluffs on the button, so Matt's hand plays really well against bluffs, so really happy to call there. So flops king 6-10, Matt's got the gut shot in the over, he checks, Jake checks back with the sevens. I think betting here would be okay by Jake, but at the same time, before you just c-bet in this spot, think to yourself, what is it accomplishing, right? So if we're betting with sevens, we want Matt to fold clearly, right? So what hands would Matt fold, right? Well, he's not folding a king. He's not folding a 10, right? His non-paired hands probably think like ace queen, ace jack, queen jack suited, right? Maybe a jack 9 suited. So he's not folding any of that either, right? So I can see why Jake wanted to check back there. I think it makes a reasonable amount of sense. I will also say, though, when you don't c-bet against tough players, you might end up finding yourself in really tough spots later. So turns an 8, giving Jake a gut shot as well now. He also checks back, and this is where things get really weird. So the river is a 9, of course, and as you see what just happens, because this thing just likes to go really fast. The river's a 9, and so I'm going to replay it really fast. Matt bets out 1100, okay? Jake hits the straight with the 7, right? Matt is completely bluffing with his ace high, and I believe Matt's utilizing his queen blocker here, right? Because the nuts in this spot is queen jack. So, of course, Jake raises for value with his, 10 high straight at this point. So Matt makes it, like I said, 1100, and we'll catch right back up there. And Jake makes it 2700. Now the action's back to Matt, and I'm watching this, right, thinking like, I wonder what hand I'm gonna, if there's anything worth doing a video for all the viewers. And I was looking at Berkey's face, and I just kind of sensed, I was like, is he gonna do it? Like, I think he's gonna do it here, right? And sure enough, I just hear the announcer goes, oh, he did it. He's all in. So, like I said, you're gonna see it again in a second. It goes Berkey, 1100 is the bluff here. Jake raises to 2700 for value. And then Berkey moves all in for, I believe, 15,000 actually. And I think Jake's stack might be 5K high because I believe Matt did have him covered in this spot. And Jake immediately went into the tank and he goes, wow, that's a great bet, because he's right. It is a great bet. This is a really sick bluff by Berkey. The problem here is that he just happened to run into exactly this. I think Jake would find faults, if he had something like 999 here or 10-9, both of which would be reasonable for him to have played in that manner. So he would definitely fold those. it's just tough with 7 here because the only thing that beats him would be Queen Jack. Because Jack 7 also, yes, in theory, but Matt's never flatting a 3, raising under the gun with Jack 7, and then flatting a 3 bet with it, and then not firing the turn just doesn't make sense. He wouldn't have that hand, right? So it's kind of like feast or famine. Like this spot, it's like Matt has to have Queen Jack or it's bluff, right? And it's a really sick bluff, and it's so good that like Jake really thought about it, thought about folding with the 7. He was really close, it seemed. He thought about it for a while, and he eventually reluctantly called. I think Berkey did an incredible job at painting the portrait that he had that Queen Jack. He sold it really well, like a Queen Jack suited or something, maybe like Queen Jack of spades, because I think, well, no, yeah, he would have probably just checked the flop with the other one. So yeah, Queen Jack suited for sure. I think he sold that story very well. It just so happened that Jake happened to have the second best hand for all intents and purposes in this spot, and he made a good call. But that's when it's a good bluff, when even like the second, third nut type hands are in a tough spot. They're in the bind, like they don't know what to do. So, kudos to Berkey for pulling the trigger in a really impressive spot, utilizing that queen blocker. And good call by Jake as well. Granted, I think Jake has to call there, obviously, again, because if Matt has Jack Queen, just so be it. It's bad luck. But it's still never easy to be in that spot, right? Especially when your opponent takes such a compelling line that really does look like the nuts. So yeah, really cool spot. Kind of interested to see how this lineup and this season plays out. I believe they'll be doing 6 episodes with this group. So we'll keep an eye on that each week, and I'll post a video like this for any of the interesting hands that I see pop up that might be worth sharing with you all. Also, check out the Elite Rounders YouTube channel and watch the high stakes poker episodes. Every Thursday we'll be putting one of those out where I give you my thoughts on whatever absurd stuff Tom Dwan did the night before. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Best of luck on the felt, and I'll see y'all next week.